Who is the Creator? For every religious person, of which I am one myself, this is the ever tumultuous question that permeates each and every one of us. The Creator, they say, is the paragon of virtue and justice, a cosmic VIP with a hotline to morality. He's the all-knowing guru, acing every math problem, solving physics puzzles, and even dishing out financial advice like some celestial Wall Street oracle. I mean, this guy's got it all. The divine do-it-all package. Yet, there's this biblical nugget that drops a bombshell. Physicians, heal yourselves. But what would the physicians need healing from? Were they sick? Perhaps they were in pain. Or maybe they were blind. And I don't mean blind in the Lady Justice kind of way, more so ignorant. Ignorant enough that they would throw their hands up in the air when they felt they were confronted with a problem that they simply did not want to deal with, and blind enough to convince you that only the divine could solve your issue. Classic divine delegation. I went to a private Christian elementary school in my city, and there I met David. When you're 8 years old, saying you're someone's best friend is a serious matter. And he was my best friend. David was the kind of kid that would make Mother Teresa question her truism. He damn near gave everything away but the kitchen sink, and if he could find a way to part with that too, he probably would. He was sweet, adorable, and a potential future president according to the neighborhood oracles, our parents. He would come to school every morning with sweets for everyone he met, and how he kept an accurate amount, I have no idea. When the school had a lunch break, he would come find me and we would play games. He would say, "You know you're my best friend, right?" Everyone had heard David say that at least once that day. But I believed him. Because it wasn't just a statement, it was a promise sealed with the sincerity that only David could convey. In those moments, nothing else mattered. It was just me and David. On a particularly bleak morning, it was announced in the assembly ground that we had to pray for David. David, the embodiment of joy, had fallen victim to a merciless, unnamed illness. The laughter that once danced in his vibrant eyes was replaced by shadows of pain, and the school's vibrant spirit dimmed. My best friend was in pain, and all I could do was pray on the assembly ground with all the other children. I remember going home and asking my parents how David was doing. The answer never really changed, but I was comforted with his parents said he's doing better now, and he should return to school soon. That answer was enough for my 8-year-old heart. One morning on the assembly ground, it was announced that David had passed away. David, my best friend, was gone. He would never hold my hand again. I would never see him smile again, and he would never give out candy again. At a mere 8 years old, I grappled with profound questions about the nature of death. What did it mean to truly cease existing? I longed to understand if my dear friend would be all right, if he was now in a place of safety, if he was no longer in pain. Yet, the explanation that David had departed to some superior realm, one currently inaccessible to me, but destined for my arrival at some point, seemed to provide some sort of solace, although a bit vague. My parents, in an effort to comfort me further, told me, "Ochinenye, God gives and God takes." And in my mind, this was tit for tat. The celestial scoreboard had been pulled up and the Creator was winning. Creator 1, Blossom 0. It was like the universe was keeping tally and David had gotten the golden ticket, but I was left contemplating the rules of this celestial tug of war. Talk about a cosmic comedy where the only one laughing was the Creator. It wasn't until I was 13 years old that I actually found out that David had died because the doctors had failed to diagnose his condition and give it the attention that he needed. They simply told his parents to pray more because the situation was out of their control. I was never told what took my best friend. And to make matters worse, neither were his parents. They had lost their son, and I had lost my friend. A year rolled by, and I was in high school. Long sleeve shirts and big skirts, that was the mark of every high school student. I was a big girl, Or at least that's what I told my parents when I practically begged them not to walk me to school every morning, as they walked me to school every morning. In the whirlwind of high school adventures, which included keeping your popularity up and saving the world, which is what you do when you're a teenager, I crossed paths with Connie. Connie, a serene spirit capable of turning the most chaotic day into a gentle breeze. Picture David as a human firecracker. Connie was his polar opposite. A cool summer evening. Every day after school, we'd go home to digest the day's activities, complete with a bucket of popcorn and television. It was perfect. Later did I know that beneath Connie's serene exterior, she was battling an illness as a sickle cell patient. Regular hospital visits became routine, but I thought to myself, Connie couldn't die. If the Creator took from me, He would give me something in return. I was owed Connie. On a particular evening while I was scrolling through social media on my phone, a text came, not from Connie, but Connie's sister. It was 11:30 p.m. at night, and it read, Blossom, pray for Connie. This isn't like before. At midnight, another message came through. Connie's at the hospital. 12:45 a.m., doctors are on Connie's case. Connie is stabilized. Relief washed over me like tidal waves. Connie would be fine. At 1 a.m., another message came up. Blossom, Connie is dead. The divine scoreboard, once showing a flicker of mercy, cruelly flipped to a heartbreaking score. Creator 2, Blossom 0. I sat on my bed and I reread the text over and over again. How could the Creator do this to me? I was told that if the Creator took from me, He would give me something in return. I was promised justice. I was owed Connie. Connie couldn't die. But she was gone. She had gone to the very same place that I sent David up to, and they weren't coming back. Is the Creator's justice a cosmic joke? I was told that He had given us so much to be thankful for, but I couldn't help but feel that what He had taken was not equivalent. The scales looked oddly uneven. Surely the Creator must see this. You see, I had a very odd habit of talking to myself in the mirror. I would pretend that my reflection was the Creator, and on this very day, I had just about enough, and I was fed up. I had cried enough, and I was ready to stick it to the man. He owed me some explanations. If you take from me, you would give me something in return. Oh, Chinenye, are you really a God of justice? I revisited this mantra over and over again. And then, it hit me. There was another player in this field. Another player. The common denominator was not just one, but two. But God and the hospital. The doctors who had failed to diagnose David and the ones who had failed to attend to Connie on time shared the spotlight of responsibility. My parents, it seemed, were right. God had given us something. It was that some mold grew in some bread and we called it penicillin, the remedy to the divine scoreboard. In the midst of my frustration, a realization dawned on me that perhaps we are not supposed to understand the divine. Is there any rhyme or reason why He takes from us? Perhaps not. But we owe it to ourselves to utilize the resources at our disposal to save ourselves when the time arises. All this time I had blamed the divine for my perils when in fact the scales exist everywhere. For me, it was the medical system. And that is why I moved to the United States so I could study to become a physician. So that when I hold the scales in front of the people whose lives are affected, it would be fair. That my blindness would mirror that of Lady Justice, and my scale would stand against that of the Creator. And so I ask you, when you get a chance to hold the scales, what would the scoreboard read?